Welcome to another episode of Otaku Evolution. I'm your host, Penguin Truth, and remember the 80s? Since I was born in 1983, my memories of the 80s are a bit fuzzy. I don't think my consciousness fully kicked in until around 88. But I have vague snippets of memories about that mellow yellow drinking, slap bracelet wearing, synth keyboard playing decade that produced Back to the Future, Care Bears, and The Simpsons. But what I remember the most, what sort of shaped my taste from that decade into the next few and until now? The music! The 1980s music! I remember Mr. Mister's Broken Wings, Howard Jones' No One Is to Blame, Chicago's Will You Still Love Me, Cutting Crews, I Just Died in Your Arms Tonight, and so many others. And of course, a lot of that has to do with these songs carrying over to the 90s, to be sure. But I still have vague recollections of them being fresh. They're what I remember the most about the 1980s, and I've never been a music expert. Call it misplaced nostalgia if you will, but today the bulk of the music I listen to is from that decade, and strangely enough, a huge portion of my favorite anime is from then too, even though I wasn't an anime fan in the cradle. But when you think about it, Japan was one of the most 80s countries, if that's possible. Japan was rising as a technological giant in the 1980s, even as America knew them mostly for silly giant monster movies and their emerging golf habits. And when we were starting to get inundated with our hardware and software, they were enjoying our cultural exports in the form of bizarre 1980s Western pop culture. And few manga celebrate this more than Minako Narita's Cipher. Cipher is one of those manga that takes place in America, in this case New York City, where a young woman named Anise meets handsome twins Roy and Jake, also called Cipher and Siva. The two of them attend school, switching places at will, because I guess it's too expensive to attend school as a duo? They make a bet with Anise that after 2 weeks she can tell them apart, they'll reveal the reason behind their act, but if she can't, she's to keep their secret forever. Reasoning she can't very well figure this out in the little time she spends with them every day, she moves into their apartment. Pretty straightforward, kind of a catchy premise, which of course is completely discarded in the animated adaptation. There are some vague snippets of the original story. As far as I know, I only read the first couple of volumes for this, namely recreations of a few scenes directly from the manga. But the Cipher anime is really two things, and neither of those is a straightforward adaptation. The first and foremost thing is, it's a music video. It's basically just a longish music video set to a few different songs, starting with Phil Collins' Against All Odds. Or at least a cover of it by somebody else. I guess they spent all the money on the song itself.
I wish I could just make you turn around and see me cry. There's so much I need to say to you, so many reasons why.
The only plot to speak of is that one of the brothers, I'm guessing Siva, Jake, goes out west to California to shoot a movie about, football it looks like. Yeah, he's an actor. And I guess things are going pretty well for him too, for a while. He seems to be hanging out with, is that Cipher or just somebody who looks like him but with dyed hair? Sometimes the character designs vary wildly, other times it's hard to tell if two similar looking people are that way on purpose or not. But anyway, other than hearing two songs from the Footloose soundtrack, we run into the other thing this short OVA is, aside from a music video. English language learning video. I shit you not!
Have you had any experience in football?
No, but I was interested in. I took the audition because I wanted to play. Nah, not really. I like people who try hard at something. Like the hero. He had football ever since he could remember. Like a habit. Well, I've been in this world since I was real small, so I think I could understand all the troubles and joys he went through.
Oh, then it must have been pretty easy to get into the part.
Yeah. Well, I'll leave it up to your imagination as to if I'm as serious-minded yet exciting as he is.
The acting sounds about as natural as any Central Park Media or Animego English dub, I suppose. Hell, I think it might actually be better than the one for Tokyo Babylon. But you would think that in a language instructional video there might be a little more dialogue? Unless this is just really promotion for the manga, which I've run into like with Grappler Baki. Either way, it's really very strange.
No, it's not here, nor here. Yeah. Oh!
It's the cake that bounces back. but it's so luscious and heavenly soft. Packed full of taste and flavor, it's Bailey's Cake Mix.
Superbound Bailey's Cake Mix.
Mmm, super good.
Well, there is one more feature of this short OVA that helps pad out the runtime after the main event. A making-of video that's almost as long as the main feature, narrated as if it were from the perspective of Cipher himself. It kind of reminds me of the making of the Gunsmith Cats OVA, because the staff actually went to New York to get location shots, and it was incredibly important for them to frame the... the World Trade Center was an integral element of the New York skyline for decades, folks. Can't help what used to be, even if we pull out our collars over the awkwardness of seeing it in entertainment now. New York City in the 1980s. I'm surprised the staff of this didn't get collectively mugged and curb stomped. There was a fierce crime wave going on for a better part of the decade. Then Giuliani came along and everything in New York was great forever and ever. The end. I said the end! According to the making of feature, it was important for the production team to model this OVA off of MTV, off of 1980s music videos. This is obviously because references to popular 80s musical acts are made throughout the manga, and when pop culture milestones in that decade included a movie about a teen boy teaching a town how to dance, is it any wonder we hear both the title song for that and an additional one from the soundtrack? Yes, only 2 degrees of separation from Kevin Bacon. Back to the animated feature, Jake returns to a smoggy New York City eventually, walking around town to the Thompson twins' kamikaze, and we get a bit of a look into the past and the lives of the brothers, as Jake somberly reflects while wandering. But finally the night breaks, and with the new day, Jake returns to their apartment, where the brothers reunite and prepare for breakfast. The end. Yeah, there's not really a whole lot to this anime. It's this strange curiosity, a quaint little slice of the 1980s, much like the manga it was based on, only bizarrely even more so since it doesn't really have a narrative, nor does it require one. I can't really say it's very good, but looking at what it is and what it tries to be, it's not terrible either. It's certainly unique, and at such a short length, I can't say I really wasted much time watching it. Yikes. It was a short episode this week. Not surprising with such a short anime, but I'm also getting concerned about tightening the use of clips from the things I review for certain important reasons. Next week we'll be looking at another 80s title involving giant robots, a pop singer, and space combat. That's right, Megazone 2-3 Part 1. What else were you expecting? See ya!